Welcome back everyone, it's Aric from Rare Candy, and today we are back up on PTCGO finally, now that Evolving Skies is up on the online game. And today we're going to be experimenting with the very annoying new Glaceon VMAX, but specifically for the post-rotation format. Do want to point that out. But this was actually at the request of one of our patrons, Fred Neilan at patreon.com/rarecandytcg. So big shout out to him and the rest of our patrons, of course, for all their continued support. So if you guys want to have your request heard and maybe help support this channel in the process, I'll have a link down below in the description for you to learn more about our Patreon. But Glaceon VMAX, this is going to be the card we are mainly building around today. Has this very interesting, but also very annoying new ability, Crystal Veil. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by VMAXs, except any Glaceon VMAX. So at least your mirror matches are going to be a little less intolerable than they would be otherwise. But yeah, with tag teams looking to leave the format, VMAXs look like they're going to be running the show. And if that's the case, Glaceon, in theory at least, looks to be a pretty promising new anti-meta Pokemon that we have access to. So this is what we are attempting to build around today. But before we get any further in today's video, if you guys can, remember to like and subscribe to stay up to date with the rest of my Evolving Skies content. And also, if you need any cards to complete this Glaceon deck, you can check out our friends at PTCGOstore.com. Use that coupon code RARECANDY at checkout. And Fred and the rest of our patrons also have their own exclusive discount code for even bigger savings. But taking a look back at the deck today, of course, just also want to briefly point out Glaceon V has a solid attack as well. For a water energy, we can just immediately evolve into our Glaceon VMAX. But the other partner Pokemon we are playing is going to be the Inteleon evolution line. I really do like this consistency, like search draw engine for this deck, because unlike stuff like Crobats and Eldegoss, these guys only give up a single prize at a time. And with Glaceon, we're trying to deny our opponent taking knockouts. So being able to have these one prize support Pokemon play is going to be less of a liability than some of the multi-prize Pokemon that some decks rely on to get set up. But also too, Glaceon VMAX, its attack here, Max Icicle, 150, does 30 to a bench Pokemon. Not the greatest damage output, guys. So sometimes the Inteleon back from Chilling Rain can kind of come in, help fix your math a little bit too. But looking at the deck, a lot of this is going to be very, very straightforward. We're going just all in on consistency, just trying to make sure we can set up our Pokemon as reliably as possible. Of course, we have the Melanies to cheat some extra energy attachments into play. We have the Capture Energies as well to help get some more Sobbles into play, or maybe even another Glaceon. But one of the cards that Glaceon VMAX has to contend with is Path to the Peak. And in the post-rotation format, we don't have Chaotic Swell anymore, which would usually, I think, be what you would want to play. So in the post-rotation format, I think decks are going to have to think about what stadium do they want to play if they're a deck like Glaceon that is very susceptible to that ability lock. And what I've opted for in this deck is actually going to be Wyndon Stadium. Very random card. Pretty awful card most of the time, but I don't think there's too many other stadiums that really benefit Glaceon in particular. Like, you could play Training Court, but we already have Melanie to get back energy, and that helps your opponent. But Wyndon Stadium seemed like the most one-sided that I could find, because very few other decks are really going to be able to benefit from this. So whenever a player plays a Pokemon VMAX from their hand to evolve a Pokemon V during their turn, heal 100 damage from that Pokemon. So if our opponent does try to get in some chip damage against our Glaceon Vs before they get up and running, we can always just evolve into Glaceon VMAX, heal 100 damage in the process, which actually has been coming in handy, believe it or not, with the Stadium card. Especially against decks like Urshifu, for example, that do sort of lower amounts of damage and aren't focused on one-shots. And yeah, very few decks will benefit from this, because if your opponent evolves into their VMAX, well, suddenly Glaceon VMAX is going to shut off their damage. So yeah, this seems like a really one-sided stadium, and debatably the best one we have at the moment for this deck. But yeah, guys, that's going to be the list. I'm not going to spend too much time on the other cards here. Oh, one other thing I do want to point out, you guys might be wondering about Snowleaf Badge and why we're not playing that. Well, that's really because, you know, if Glaceon is weak to Metal, even if you shut off this weakness, if you're going against a Zacian deck, they still out-trade you. Both Pokemon are trading 2 shots, but they get 3 prizes compared to your 2. Zacian is also going to be a little bit more fast and consistent than Glaceon, so I'm opting to just take the fat L to Zacian and just play 2 copies of Air Balloon. That way we can use this on our Inteleon line as well. But that's going to be the list we are going to be trying out. Now, I have been experimenting with some other ways of playing Glaceon as well. So if you guys want an alternate take on this deck, I will have a link down below in the description to our Patreon. I dropped a bonus list over there for our patrons. So yeah, go check that out if you want some more Glaceon content. But without the way, let's hop in some games and see if we can get some wins with Glaceon today. All right. Gold 5372 is going to call the coin flip against us. But luckily, I think Glaceon doesn't mind going first or second. We do is the flip, but either way is fine. If we go second, we can evolve turn one. If we go first, we can set up some more Sobbles and basics and all that stuff. And just get an extra attachment. I think our attachments are pretty precious with this deck since we are kind of slow at getting going. Oh, but they're going to have us go first. I mean, I'm kind of cool with that. Yeah, not a particularly great hand, I'm not going to lie, though. Yeah, we'll just start with Glaceon. Because we probably are going to need to protect Sobble for next turn to make sure we can get a Marnie or something. Ooh, it's going to be Noivern. Not really worried about Noivern, if I'm just being honest, guys. What do we... Yeah, I don't think we really care about Noivern. So I think I'll actually quick ball away the water energy. That way we can use our Drizzile next turn for something instead of like a Marnie, and we can use Melanie. And yeah, we're just going to pass over to our opponent. So we'll save the Eeveelution Incense. That way if we top deck into a Drizzile, we can maybe save this for a Glaceon VMAX. Okay, there's going to be a Fog Crystal, so let's see what they're playing with Noivern here. Here's a level ball, so are they playing Inteleon? I think that is... Okay, yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Fog Crystal is an interesting card for the deck, though. I'm curious if they're playing any other... Playing any Psychic Basic Pokemon in here somewhere? That is something I'm wondering about. Okay, there's going to be Galarian Moltres as well. And a Research from our opponent as well. So getting rid of Copycat and a Marnie and Boss. So a lot of supporters pitched away turn one. There's going to be another Noivern. So Noivern has the Boom Burst attack. They get to spread 20. So I'm really not too afraid of this, to be honest. Like, even if they eventually pick off our Drizziles, I'm kind of okay with that. I really just want to get our Inteleon set up to get some additional damage in. Okay, there's the Boom Burst. Alright, so... See, how much does the other attack do? So if we have the same amount of cards in hand, they do 180. Ooh, that's actually annoying. We can actually survive that hit, though. So I'm thinking about trying to not evolve to be able to have the access of healing with Wyndon. So we're just going to Melanie right out the gate here. We'll attach. Eeveelution Incense. We'll go for Drizzile. So what do we want here? I might even just grab Eeveelution Incense preemptively. To evolve into another Drizzile. Because, well... Because I want to evolve into our Inteleons, like, ASAP. Yeah, it feels bad, like, kind of wasting a Drizzile in a way, but again, I really want to get these guys up into their stage 2s as quick as possible. So, sure, and I think I'll just... Oh, we priced 3 stadiums. Okay, yeah, I think we're going to grab this preemptively. If we get Marnie, that feels bad, but yeah, I think we're going to want this for next turn. And from there, like, we could put it down, but again, we run the risk of it getting bumped out of play. So I think for the moment, just going to click done. And we could Frozen Awakening and immediately get out our VMAX, but I want to be able to heal off the damage that is going to be done to our Glaceon. So if they do want to match hand sizes, they also would need to increase their hand size. But we could see a Marnie. Or if they go for Drizzile, they could just go for a Copycat. But again, they would be a little bit shy of a knockout, but... So let's see what they're going to grab. Okay, a Level Ball, so maybe they're kind of thinking the same thing that I was. They want to immediately get into their Inteleons, that way they can start spreading a little bit more damage. Would make sense, I suppose. But let's see what they're going to grab with this Drizzile. I'd imagine, you know, if they're going to go the spread route, the support doesn't matter too much, but we might see a Copycat if they do just want to get in a lot of damage with Synchro Loud. And I think that's probably their best option right here, but they do see we have the Wyndon. There's Copycat. I almost kind of feel like they should have gone for Marnie because they saw that we grabbed the Wyndon with our Drizzile. But maybe they're thinking, I don't know, maybe they don't know what Wyndon Stadium does. Now, I will point out we do still need to find a Glaceon VMAX return because we need to evolve from hand to get this heal. Okay, so... yeah, we'll do this. Do we get down the Glaceon just yet? Unfortunately, I'll stay sure. And we'll just Marnie. So we need Glaceon VMAX this turn. Okay, there we go. And we did get Inteleon, which is also good. Okay, so Wyndon coming in clutch, guys. If we didn't have another stadium, we wouldn't actually be able to get that 100 heal right here. So, where do we want our 2 damage counters? Like, I guess if we evolve into this other Inteleon next turn, we can grab Boss and pick this guy off on the bench. Doesn't seem horrible to me. So I think we'll do that, actually. Go for the max Ice School, and we'll just get the other 30 on this Noivern. So yeah, feel pretty good about the spot that we're in, guys. Now, if they do match hand sizes and hit 180 again and get 2 Inteleons, that could be bad for us. That actually could. So we'll see what happens, but if they don't do that, we're in a really, really good spot. So there's going to be another Dark Energy. It looks like they are sort of foregoing the spread strategy. And there's another Copycat. Yikes. So luckily, they're only going to get 3 cards. They would need 2 Inteleons. But hey, just the 180. That's best case scenario for us, guys. And this is actually going to be a really, really good turn for us. So let's do this. We'll just grab another Sobble. I know this does open us up to some spread shenanigans, but I'm really not too worried about it at this point. So yeah, this is going to be absolutely sick. Go for the quick shooting over here. And we're just going to go for the Inteleon over here, and this is going to be absolutely stupid. So yes, we'll get 2 trainer cards. I think we'll just get Os and actually a Level Ball to grab another Drizzile. But yeah, that's gonna be a stupid turn, guys. So we'll go for the boss, bring up the other Noivern, and max Ice Cool, taking 4 prizes 1 turn. Feels pretty good. So the Inteleon kind of coming in clutch here, fixing our math for us. I mean, what do you do at that point, guys? But maybe they have something spicy that I'm unaware of. But right now, I feel decent about where we're at. I mean, they can, if they do have two Inteleons, they can just pick off this Glaceon. But I think it's going to be difficult for them to actually close out a game with their deck. So we'll see what they're going to have. They might just be sacrificing the Sobble this turn. There's Ornate Rod. Now, if they play energy switches and stuff like that, there is a world where they can set up a fresh Noivern, fully powered up on future turns, but they only just need one Noivern and one attachment, and they're going to be okay. Okay, they're just going to attach to the active. That's best case scenario for us, guys. So we are... Oh, they're going to go for the double spin. Okay. Sobble definitely could knock us out. This could be kind of funny. Okay, so they don't knock us out. They kind of really needed that double heads there. But yeah, feels bad for our opponent. Yeah, and there's the victory screen, guys. So after that double KO, kind of hard for our opponent to come back at that point. Alright, our opponent here is going to call the flip, which we lose, but it's okay. We don't mind going second with this deck too often. Not the greatest opening, though, I'm not going to lie. We could get... Okay, there's Urshifu. So that's actually pretty bad going second. So we're definitely need to research, I think. There's a level ball. Probably going to grab a Sobble, I would just imagine. Okay, quick ball. Probably grabbing a second Sobble, I would assume. Okay, Crobat. So they must have a dead hand, it appears. But still a pretty solid opening from our opponent so far, at least. Telescopic Sight, also an annoying card. Yeah, really good opening from our opponent, absolutely. Man. I don't want to we need to research. We really do need to research, but the issue is we need a lot here. This feels awful, but I think I am gonna research. Losing 4 supporters. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay, so do that. Capture energy, go for another Sobble. And they could do 150 to us if they do evolve and can retreat. But I think I'm just going to pass for the moment. There's Eeveelution Incense. So let's see what they're going to opt to go for. We could see them grab a supporter with their Drizzile to bail them out of a dead hand. But right now, they're going to be looking for switch or some sort of switching card. And an attachment for this guy. Now, if they do have the VMAX, they could go for like a double KO, or they could soften up Glaceon and take a knockout on Sobble. I think that would also be okay. But yeah, this guy's definitely going to be their best attacker right now. Now, luckily, we can use Drizzile. Even if they go for a double knockout with G-Max Rapid Flow, we can guarantee the attack with a Melanie. Now, the one... Okay, and they are going to evolve. So they're just... And there's a Marnie. Okay. Kind of feels bad. I actually was okay with our hand, if I'm being honest. Alright, I mean, this is still, like, kind of workable, though. We need to hit a Glaceon VMAX here. Ooh, they are going to go for the G-Max Rapid Flow. So we want Wyndon and... I mean, we can actually pull this off. Okay. Yeah, getting the evolution incense also really good. So let's go ahead and do this. Go for Melanie. I'm actually going to preemptively grab Glaceon VMAX as well. Because I want to increase our odds of drawing into... Well, I mean, we have another Drizzile. That's probably fine. Yeah, I'm probably just overthinking that one a little bit here. So let's go for the Melanie. Well... The rest of our hand's pretty bad, but luckily we can at least pull off the whole Wombo combo play with the Wyndon Stadium. So let's grab Wyndon. We'll just retreat over here. Hatch, get down the Wyndon. Heal 100. Now we're feeling kind of okay right now. And this is one of the things that makes Wyndon kind of a good stadium in these situations. And we get the victory screen. So you can see, you have to imagine if we didn't put this thing down, our opponent might not have even conceded. So Wyndon like really pulling its worth here in these games. Alrighty, our opponent has a Dragon deck box, guys. Very curious what we're going to be playing against. This could be boring ADP since we still have pre-rotation decks technically allowed on PTCGO for the moment, but this could be like Rayquaza VMAX or, you know, something new from the new set. We'll have to see. But let's see what we're going against. Ice Rider. Okay, so maybe they're throwing us for a curveball by playing the Dragon sleeves. But if they're playing Ice Rider, that bodes well for us, since they are predominantly a VMAX deck. But this guy can still hit pretty decently, hitting for 200. Now, it would be nice if we could top deck a Quick Ball. That way we could use Melanie here. But let's see what all our opponents are playing. Right now, it looks like kind of a normal sort of generic Ice Rider deck, which is fine. Now, I am curious if they're playing Suicune. That could actually be relevant, so let's just do this. We could go for the Capacious Bucket. No reason to, though. Like, we could play it to thin to try to hit Sobble, but I don't want to burn it that easily. So let's just go for the Marnie here. We want to hit at least one Sobble. So that's not great. Okay, so I actually would like to use Wyndon Stadium, but the issue is if they just evolve into their VMAX and discard their energy, we lose. So we like have to do this. Feels bad, guys. This is definitely not a good start for this deck at all. Because we can't even Melanie to attack next turn either. And a lot of the times, Ice Rider is just going to be playing Path to the Peak anyways. So we'll see what happens. But right now, things are not looking particularly promising for our deck. You know, we play... Like, I wish we hadn't attached preemptively to the Glaceon. That way we could have hit Capture Energy, but you don't know if we were going to hit Energy after the Marnie. So I think we still did the right thing probably by attaching here. Okay, there's Deandre. So this is a pre-rotation Ice Rider deck. Now, again, kind of curious if they have updated their list to include something like Suicune. But I'm also curious too, because we have not seen Path to the Peak yet. Normally, these Ice Rider decks don't play very heavy counts of things like Dedenne or Crobat, and they rely more on their Inteleon lines, and then they can play Path to the Peak to be able to show off abilities. But there's a Marnie. I'm actually okay with that. We have the Capture Energy, but beyond that, our hand was going to be looking pretty weak for this next turn. Okay, so this is actually kind of decent because we can, of course, toss away energy with Quick Ball, use Melanie to get ourselves up and running. Okay, there's the Pierce. All right, so we did good. We lucked out from them not having, you know, something a little bit heavier hitting. Okay. So Quick Ball, toss away this guy, grab a Sobble. And we can Melanie here. Seems good. Level Ball, grab another Sobble. So we're starting to stabilize a little bit. We kind of endured the first couple turns, which looks sketchy for us. But yeah, now we're just going to max Ice School. I think I'm going to target down Drizzile. Well, maybe Crobat, actually. Because they're going to evolve this guy anyways. I mean, it puts them on a clock, but they would have 2 turns to find an Inteleon. I think they can do that, guys. So I think we're just going to target down one of these 2 prizers. Probably the Crobat. Seems good. Okay, so they're evolving into this Inteleon. So that makes me kind of wish we put the 30 on there, but I can kind of live with not having done so. Okay, Melanie and a Quick Ball. Seems good. I imagine we're going to get hit for 200 by Ice Rider. But beyond that, what else are they going to do? Probably set up another Ice Rider. That seems good. Or a Suicune if they play something like that. Okay, but it looks like they are going in on another Ice Rider Calyrex V. Okay, so yeah, just 200, and they are going to need another Melanie if they want to attack again next turn. They've only played one, so there's a good chance they will have what they need. So what do we want to get here? Probably a Quick Ball, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I think we want a Quick Ball. We want to set up another Glaceon. Do we have energy and discard? We do not. So I might even... Well, this guy's going to get knocked out next turn either way. So we're going to have energy and discard piles. So I think we're just going to toss away the boss. That's cool. Grab another Glaceon V. Attach and research. Alrighty, so I kind of do want to evolve preemptively, even though there's nothing we really need this turn. Because I want to be able to evolve into another Inteleon. We could just bounce their stadium. I don't hate that. Or we could even go for Melanie. But we have Level Ball, so we could always just go for another Drizzile to do the Melanie next turn. So... I think we'll just bump their stadium. Kind of cool with that. Alright, so we'll do the max Ice Cool. Just target down this guy over here. So if they do evolve, that's also fine by me to heal off that 30, because then they can't actually attack our Glaceon VMAX. So I'm cool with the state of this game right now. Right now, I think we're probably going to come out on top. The beginning turns were definitely really sketchy, but I think we have gotten to a point where we might be able to come out on top here. And actually, if we do 150... Yeah, we can actually take a knockout here if we get both Inteleons and attack with a VMAX as well. So that does mean we are going to need to hit... We have one Eeveelution Incense. Okay, yeah, we actually should be able to get there, because we can Level Ball for Drizzile to get another Eeveelution Incense. But we need a Melanie in the process this turn as well. Okay, so Level Ball, let's see what we have here. Grab a Drizzile. Let's see, we have 2 Eeveelution Incense and a Melanie in hand, or in deck, I should say. Just trying to thin as much as possible before we do anything else. So yes, we'll evolve. We need Melanie before we do anything else. Do we have... Okay, we have an energy left in deck, so I'm going to thin, get that out of there because we want to make sure we can get this whole Wombo combo off. Okay, that worked out pretty much perfectly for us, so we can do this. And we should have the knockout now. So quick shooting over on this guy. Eeveelution Incense again. Grab our other Inteleon. And yeah, I think we weathered the storm, guys. And I think we honestly got a little bit lucky. Yeah, here's the victory screen. That we went up against an Ice Rider variant that was playing like Viridians and stuff like that instead of the heavy Path to the Peak engine. So, but hey, we'll take it. Still beating a poster or beating a pre-rotation deck with a post-rotation one always kind of feels good. Alrighty guys, that is going to wrap up our look here at the post-rotation Glaceon deck. You know, as I kind of mentioned during one of our games here, I do think this deck is a little bit more well-positioned going into the post-rotation format compared to pre-rotation. Just because with tag teams leaving the format, now pretty much the only 3 prize Pokemon that are running around are going to be VMAXs, and Glaceon can wall against those. Now, of course, you do have to worry about things like Path to the Peak. That is still going to be an issue for you if you run into anything like that. But against VMAX decks that aren't playing that, or any other like very strong, easy to power up 2 prizers, Glaceon can make quick work of those decks, I think, a lot of the time. So feel free to try out this list, guys. And like I said, if you do want another Glaceon VMAX list, I did drop a bonus one for our patrons over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg. So feel free to check that one out too if you are hungry for even more Glaceon content after this video ends. But that's going to wrap up today's video. If you guys can, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications to stay up to date with the rest of my Evolving Skies content. We're actually at the time of recording really close to 25k subscribers, so every sub really does go a long way. But if you want to take your support to the next level, you can also become a patron, or you can pick up some merch over at rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.